One of the wonderful things about Frederick County, Maryland, USA is the nearby attractions. We're in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, which is right over the Potomac River. And I'm just at a vista here where you can overlook the river. I think this is the Shenandoah we're looking at here. Shenandoah and the Potomac merge down below here. And it's just absolutely beautiful, beautiful scenery all around Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. And it's just right over the river from Frederick County, Maryland, USA. Gorgeous area. And we're looking back behind us. We're at the Hilltop House, and unfortunately it looks like this one's going to be torn down. The building's literally collapsing here. We got a dumpster out in front. This has been, so hopefully it'll be rebuilt again. This is where we have these wonderful views. I'm going to pan around one more time here. This is why this was such a popular place to come and stay. Just absolutely wonderful vistas from here. And according to the sign on the door, they're actually going to restore the place. That's good news.
It's first built in 1888.
First built in 1888. And at the Harper's Ferry General Store, you can even buy a Whizzer motorcycle. There's that Whizzer. And here's a Swiss Miss restaurant. And of course there are a lot of historic buildings and museums and so forth here. A large part of this is owned by the Park Service, the National Park. Being guarded right now by a Confederate soldier.
Actually, we don't have a Confederacy yet.
Oh, okay.
It's July the 5th, 1860.
All right.
There's some that say we might break away from the Union.
And what's your belt buckle? CSA?
No, actually, this is the state of Virginia.
State of Virginia.
Virginia Militia, the Armory Guards.
Okay, so there are rumblings, but not an official Confederacy yet.
No, it all hangs on that election this November.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service, regardless.
You're welcome. October of 1859, the fanatical abolitionist John Brown with 21 raiders came across the bridge over the Potomac there and attacked our town of Harper's Ferry. Came in the dark of night, took hostages among the local townsfolk, here to seize all the weapons stored in the United States Armory. They see that first phase, but they were expecting all the slaves to uprise and come to their support. They were going to give them the weapons here. They had these long, sharp pikes made for them if they didn't know their way around a firearm. The slaves didn't materialize, and the townsfolk here in the local militia responded to the call instead, drove them back out of the town. And this building here, the engine house for the Armory, is where they were driven into.
Okay.
You had some of the most important hostages in here with Brown in this main room.
Okay.
You would have had shots coming in and out of here, glass breaking, white smoke from powder. Two of John Brown's sons lying mortally wounded at his feet.
Now, were there actual guns in this building? No,
this is the engine house. If you go around the corner, you can actually see some of our engines here, primarily in case of a fire.
Okay.
To protect the arsenal.
All right.
But he made you got this nice brick building here. This is where his men forded up at the very end. They got cut off from the river, leaving no escape. Now, the militia drove them back in here, but it was basically a standoff from there. President Buchanan sent a company of Marines from Washington, put them under the command of an Army officer named Robert E. Lee. They came up here. Lee sent his aide, at that time, Lieutenant Jeb Stewart, up to the door. John Brown opens the door up to talk terms with Stewart, says he'll leave peaceably, they'll return the hostages, and they'll just go over the bridge and no harm done. Stewart says that it's surrender or prepare to be stormed. Brown doesn't like those terms, so Stewart nimbly steps out of the way of the line of fire, waves his hat, and that's the signal for the United States Marines to storm these doors. Lieutenant Israel Green's the first one in. One of his the soldiers under him, Private Luke Quinn, is going to be mortally wounded following his lieutenant into this fort. Green is going to find John Brown right inside here in the armory. He's going to lay about him with his sword, only it's a ceremonial dress sword, it's not sharp. He wounds Brown terribly, but is not able to kill him because of that that blade. The blade actually bends double because it's not made for combat. So the few remaining raiders in here are killed or captured. The ones that are still alive are dragged out of here. And the Marines look to to maintain order, because right now the crowd was basically baying for blood at this point. They've been attacked in the dark of night. 4 of their citizens have been killed in the raid. But the Marines managed to hold them off, and Brown stood trial in nearby Charlestown for murder, treason, and inciting slave rebellion. And they hanged him there December 2nd of 1859.
Well, thank you for your recount.
You're welcome.